Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Recently, John Wall came out and said that him and Bradley Beal have been having chemistry issues, and they tend to dislike each other on the court. He also said that now that referring to Bradley Beal, that you have your money, it's time to get on the court and improve, be an all-star just as much as I'm an all-star. He considered himself a 1-2 punch. John Wall being A and Bradley Beal being A1, whatever that is. But a lot of people are kind of shocked that they don't like each other. They think it's like a big deal. They think it's almost like sacrilegious for players to play with each other and not like each other. But the case is many players that play with each other and don't like each other, and they've won championships. Kobe and Shaq being one of the greatest tandems that ever played. Kobe and Shaq, after the first year, even probably during the first year, they hated each other. I mean, they won a three-peat. I think that John Wall and Bradley Beal don't need to get caught up in this. They don't need to get up and caught up and say like how we like each other in court, like this needs to flow seamlessly. That's not it. The thing is with the Wizards is they often tend to not make the right basketball plays. They play poor basketball. That's why they haven't been in such a great state. They made the playoffs here and there, but it's the poor decision making. Part of that is Bradley Beal's fault. A lot of that is John Wall's fault because John Wall runs the offense. But in addition to that, their offense is simple. It's like a lot of down screens and open shots for Bradley Beal and pick and roll for John Wall. It's not, their offense isn't complicated. Not like a lot of backdoor cuts. Not a lot of weak side motion. So, I mean, they weren't destined. They were set up for failure anyway. And if anything, they should be mad at the organization because the organization didn't bring in the right pieces. I mean, Gortat is pretty good, and they had Paul Pierce. They finally brought in Paul Pierce, but brought Paul Pierce in the later of his career, so that's not going to help you much. They have to. Well, I guess with Scott Brooks, and he's a pretty good coach. He does run like isolation sets, but with Scott Brooks, they got to improve the personnel. I don't necessarily think that the chemistry thing is the biggest problem because those two together, they're pretty solid. I mean, John Wall could work on his jump shot, and Bradley Beal could probably work on his playmaking ability. But to me, those two guys are pretty solid. You know what you're going to get out of them. It's their supporting cast, like Otto Porter and who was the other guy? He was a Frenchman, the power forward, and Gortat. Like, those are the guys that they need to improve if they want to contend. It doesn't matter how great those two get, because if you keep surrounding them with garbage, and Paul Pierce is not garbage or anything, Gortat is not garbage. I'm just saying, like, all the bench play, they haven't really brought in a lot of great players for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, the best player out of Washington in a long time, besides Earl the Pearl, has been Gilbert Arenas, and then John Wall. He's pretty good, but he's not the end-all, be-all. I mean, he has a lot of deficiencies in this game, but the one thing I can give to him, he's a great competitor. He competes at a high level every night. But other than that, they haven't brought in that franchise-changer player. Maybe they could change it within, and like John Wall said, since Bradley Beal has his money, he can improve his game. But I don't think Bradley Beal had a bad game. I just think he's been injured, and being injured, you become inconsistent. And another thing, everybody's making a huge deal about John Wall saying, now that you have your money, I guess they're trying to say that John Wall is upset because Bradley Beal got like a max deal. And the thing about that is, he wants Bradley Beal to get a max deal because then that means when it's his turn, he gets a max deal. You see what I'm saying? Like, you want your guy to get highly paid because when it's your turn, you can argue and say, well, hey, this guy got a max deal. I'm worth just as much, if not more. Therefore, I get a max deal. So you put pressure on the organization. If Bradley Beal would take a pay cut when it's John Wall's turn to sign a max deal, then guess what? They just argue with him and say, hey, we just made him take a pay cut. What makes you so special? So I don't think you guys understand. Like, these guys get buku bucks. Like, their paychecks, every pay period is like 250, 300 grand, whatever. 180 grand. Like, they don't care if the next man makes more money than them. They just care that they get paid. And I guess his comments were taken out of context, but here's what you gotta understand: like, rich people don't hate on other rich people. Like, they don't care. They want to figure out, okay, how do we all make more money? They want more people to be rich. But the case is just, us looking in, we think it's hate because, like, that sounds like something that we would say. Like, we have a negative mind frame. We put a negative spin on it, but he's not at all. Like, I don't think he's worried about that. I mean, he makes millions already, so why would he hate on somebody else getting a max deal? That's more power to them, because that means when it's his turn, he gets a max deal. And he didn't have to, like, come out and, like, I guess he went on, like, Instagram or something, and he said, like, I'm not hating on this guy, yada yada yada. But he didn't have to dignify out of the response. Like, everything he said was like, it was uplifting. It's like, now you have your money, let's go out there and get better. I want you to be an all-star. I'm an all-star. Like, it was all like positive things. So to put a negative spin on that and say he's like pocket watching or, no, not at all. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's that with those guys. I mean, honestly, they could get as good as they wanted to be. I think the way that the organization is run and the play style that they're playing, it's not sophisticated enough for them to contend at a high level. It puts too much emphasis on one-on-one basketball, and when it's time to win a championship, one-on-one basketball, that's not what's going to win it for you. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.